Hey everybody, Niraj Chabra with Sidebar Advisors. Hope you are doing well. Lately, I've been hearing a lot of people considering going off on their own and hanging their own shingle, and I figured I'd go over some of the strategies and pitfalls that I've seen other solo practitioners make with regards to starting their own practice. So, whenever somebody tells me they're considering going off on their own, the first thing I want to make sure that they have is an adequate emergency fund. As a general rule, you're supposed to have 3 to 6 months worth of your expenses set aside in cash. As somebody who's starting your own practice, I would recommend that that's much heavier, somewhere in the 12 to 36 month range. Now, why do we need such a heavy cash reserve or emergency fund? Number one is it could be quite a bit of time by the time that you bill your first client to the time you actually collect. And in the meantime, you're setting up your office, have all these different expenses. The bills don't stop. You're still going to have to pay your utilities, your rent, everything else, plus your personal expenses. So having an adequate cash reserve does a couple of different things. Number one, it buys you time to allow for those receivables to come in. But number two, it actually makes you a better lawyer. We've had cases where people didn't have the cash reserve and went off on their own. And what ends up happening is that they end up taking whatever case they could get through the door. They discount their fees. They're taking cases that they had no business taking on. So by having an emergency fund set aside, it gives you the confidence to be able to turn down cases and stick to your guns with regards to your hourly rate. So the second thing that we always like to point out is that obviously you're not going to have the same employer benefits. You know, you had your life insurance, your disability, your health insurance, all those things through work, your 401k, etc. Now you have to recreate all this stuff. So a good place to start is oftentimes going to be trade associations, bar associations, things of that nature. Sometimes they'll offer benefits included in your membership or discounted rates that you might not have otherwise had access to. If not, you're still going to want to consider these things. So disability is a good example. When you work for a firm, typically they're going to cover you for about 60% of your salary. As a solo practitioner, it's on you to pay for it out of pocket. Now, keep in mind that when you're applying for something like a disability, it's going to be, you're going to get approved up to your declared income. And if you are just starting off, you may not have declared income. They're probably not going to look at your earnings when you were working for a firm. So take this into consideration as you're thinking about making these adjustments because you may not get the coverage that you're hoping to. Last thing I'm going to leave you with is retirement plans. When you're working for a firm, typically you're able to participate in a 401k or a deferred compensation program. As a solo practitioner, you're going to have to make some decisions. If you're a solo firm and no employees or anything like that, you might be able to get away with a SEP IRA, but at some point you might outgrow that and may want to consider either a 401k for your employees or potentially a defined benefit plan, depending on your disposable income. If you have strong dollars and you're able to put away a good amount of money, a SEP IRA may not be the only game in town. There might be other avenues. And finally, if you work in certain fields such as PI or employment law, where you maybe work on contingency, there may be some strategies that could help minimize your tax obligation. Obviously, you know, it's nice when you get these big settlements, but if you happen to get two in the same years, it could potentially bump you up a tax bracket. So you want to take all these things into consideration. There might be a way to either A, smooth out your income over the next couple of years, or B, defer the income until a later point in time. So if you want some more information on any of these strategies, feel free to reach out to us. We're more than happy to help however we can. And if you're still considering going off on your own, good luck. Thanks for watching.